Hey everyone, welcome back to the RetroBreak Podcast. This is episode 62, and this is kind of a continuation of the last one. So if you didn't listen to the last one, I was basically talking about how I want to improve my retro gaming setup in order for me to be more able to actually enjoy playing games and having a comfier space to do so, and also to have a much more reliable system too. Well, I'm very glad to say that that is very much in progress right now. I've got some really cool updates that I'm going to be sharing in my next video that's going to come out on Friday. But before then, in this episode, let me give you a quick heads up as to what's to come in that episode. So the first thing, and definitely the most exciting thing, is the fact that I got a brand new CRT 21 inch, just as I wanted when I first announced that I was revamping the game room. It's a Toshiba, and it was released in 1998, and it looks incredible. I'm so happy with it. It has some paint on the back, but honestly, the way that it's facing at the back of the room like that, you can't tell, so it doesn't really matter. I was kind of considering trying to get rid of the paint, but in the end I felt like it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the usability of the screen or anything, and the screen itself is in pristine condition. It didn't come with a remote though, and the buttons on the front are broken, so there was no way for me to actually change it into AV to actually use the SCART port on the back. So I had to come up with a quick solution. I tried a bunch of different TV remotes and none of them seemed to work. I even tried the reprogrammable remote that comes with the OSSC, but obviously that's for reprogramming an existing remote, so that didn't quite work either. So I had a great idea while I was trying to look for one that actually does work with that TV on eBay or wherever. I got the Wii U and I plugged the Wii U in and used the Wii U gamepad's TV remote functionality to look for Toshiba in the list, and it actually did work, kind of. So it let me switch it to AV at least, so I could actually test it out, and it lets me adjust the volume and stuff, which is great. But there was a few settings on the TV by default that weren't quite as I would have liked them to be. So the picture was quite dim, the contrast wasn't great, and there was no way of getting to the menu. So I ordered a replacement remote off eBay, and that one turned up, and apparently it was fully compatible with that specific screen that I've got, but the menu button didn't work. It actually just put it in recording mode, so I think it hadn't quite been programmed properly. So that was a waste of like a tenner, because that remote was no better than using the gamepad. So in the end, I managed to track down a really good one that does work 100%, and I can now actually change those picture profile settings and stuff. But that was a lot more expensive. It was like 20 quid, and it was from a very specific site that deals with replacement remotes for old TVs. But I'm glad to say that everything's working properly now, so I'm really happy about that. I also got some new SCART connectors for things like the Wii. In fact, I forgot I already ordered one, and I actually ended up getting two in the post. So the Wii actually works in full colour now, which is great, and I've very briefly tried it out and it seems to work great. I've also been working on my streaming setup. Hopefully I'll be kicking that off next week at some point. I've managed to get the chat up here in the corner. I've managed to get the green screen up and running properly. I've got a light in the corner that lights me up enough to remove the green screen from the background. That took a lot of trial and error in OBS, so I'm really happy with how that looks too. So hopefully that means that I can get back into a good schedule with streaming again and turn those into videos at the end of it as well. I think I mentioned my new streaming schedule previously, but for those who haven't heard, basically when I get round to playing a new game, so whatever game I play after Metal Gear Solid now, I'm going to solely focus on playing that game so I can actually get in some good playtime back to back instead of leaving it for a week and forgetting the controls and forgetting the story because I put it on hold to make a video and basically shifted all my attention to the video instead. So from now on, if I play a game, I am just going to be playing the game, and I feel like that will make it a lot easier to actually get through some of these games and to actually enjoy them a lot more as well, and also hopefully to grow my Twitch channel a bit more as well by being a bit more of a regular streamer. So yeah, hopefully I can actually put the time aside to actually play things properly. And time has been a massive issue for me at the minute. I'm getting incredibly frustrated that I've got literally no time to myself at all. I've had this setup working now for about 2 weeks, and I haven't even played anything on there for literally 5 minutes. There's always something else I need to do or somewhere else I need to be. So I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I need to just try and shut everything else off so I can actually just sit down and try and play something and just try and enjoy myself, because I haven't been able to switch my brain off for so long. Whether that means taking a break from YouTube for a bit or just doing something for myself and just telling everyone no, sorry, I just need the time because I'm just going to go insane otherwise. I don't know what I can actually do about this, but it's really beginning to get to me. And every time I look over there, it's ready for me to use, and I just don't feel like I can. Like, I shouldn't complain that I've got a job, but it's kind of upsetting that it's right there, and I need to just sit and do boring work for the next 8 hours, and then there'll be something else I need to do after. And it just goes on and on like that. So yeah, hopefully I can try and find some way of putting a little bit of time aside, maybe even just like half an hour next week to just enjoy myself, not make content, not have to worry about anyone else. So yeah, hopefully by the time the next podcast comes out, I can actually talk about some retro games that I've been playing, because again, just like the previous 4 episodes now, I haven't actually played anything at all. Not retro, at least. I did get the new Donkey Kong game, which I'm really enjoying, and I managed to play it for a few hours the day it came out, but I haven't been able to touch it since. But it seems really good so far. I don't know when I'll be able to play it again, but I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, I think it is just as good, if not better, than Mario Odyssey, which was a great game anyway. So they've done an incredible job with the game. Hopefully I can find some time to play more of it as well. And I've got Yakuza on the backlog as well, and I've also got a big list of retro games that I would like to try and play. I'm going to try and stream them as well, so look forward to some of them. I actually want to replay Banjo-Kazooie as well. I think that'll be a nice one to ease me back into streaming. So there's a lot to look forward to. Just need to try and figure out how I'm actually going to do it. And in terms of projects, which is the next part here, I have briefly been touching on my Akihabara history project video that I'm trying to work on as well. We'll be going to Japan maybe at the end of next year, so I've still got a bit more time to try and plan that one. But I've got a really detailed timeline now about the history of Akihabara, right from in the 1600s all the way up to the very first electronics shops, all the way up to how it is today and how it's kind of evolved over the years as well. And I've got some really key locations that I want to go and actually do on-camera bits in Akihabara itself, and there's a few historical areas and things as well which I want to visit, and then overlay photos of the past, and I think that will be really cool. That's a really exciting big project that I'll be working on next year. So fingers crossed that does actually happen. I'm also, obviously now I've passed 50,000 subscribers, I'm very excited to keep that momentum up, and I think I've got a great range of videos that I'll be working on to try and get to 60, hopefully a little bit sooner than it took me to get to 50, because things have slowed down quite dramatically. And I think I know why. It's because I've been putting too much effort into try and get the actual physical games to show off on camera, whereas I don't really feel like that's what people actually care about the most. They actually just care about knowing what games they should play on emulators. It seems to be the case. So from now on, for the rest of the games on my Everything You Need to Know list, I'm not going to be focused entirely on making sure that I have the physical games to show off. I used the Game Boy Hidden Gems one as kind of a trial to see whether that would actually make any difference, and so far it doesn't seem to have made any difference at all. I actually just recorded all the footage for those games on the Mister, and no one said anything. No one's really questioned it whatsoever, so I think it was just all in my head. So that will make it a lot easier to make some of these more expensive videos. And it's not that I don't plan to collect the games in the future, and I definitely will, so keep an eye out on my pickups videos for getting some of the games that I have mentioned in some of the main channel videos. I think that will be a cool way of doing it, and hopefully that will be able to keep up some of the momentum as well, because the games were getting insanely expensive if I wanted to do it properly. So I honestly feel like that's the only course really, if I want to keep the momentum up and not just do filler videos for months on end, and I won't get much revenue from them anyway, so it doesn't really help in that regard. So that's my plans for the next few months, really. I'm also going to Gamescom next month as well, and hopefully I'll be able to do a video there. I know they always have a big retro area, so that'll be kind of cool to see. I'm not really interested in most of the games that are coming out, but I'm sure I will play some and probably have some thoughts to share, which I might share during the show as kind of a vlog style, and just do a little overview of what's at the show as well. So look forward to that at some point late August, I think. And that's it, just a quick podcast tonight. It is very late. I only just been able to get free, and I should be getting ready for bed really, but I just wanted to do this to keep up the schedule. So I'll leave it there. Thank you all so much for listening as always, and I'll see you again in another 2 weeks time for episode 63, and let's see whether I've actually played something by the time I get round to doing the next one. Thank you all so much for the support. Check out Patreon if you want to support me in collecting some of these harder to find games as well, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks time. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.